I want to have Linda come up and give a little testimony. Linda Stauffer, we had a marvelous prayer meeting Wednesday, where the Lord met us in a very powerful way, and Linda was touched by the Lord, and her testimony fits into this.
Yeah, I grew up with a passive father, and he wasn't available. He wasn't there much. He was in the military, and he was transferred to other places. And I also don't know who my real father was, and so he came in when I was little, and I didn't realize he wasn't my father as I grew up. I found out in a weird way, but he was always distant. I never had a conversation with him. Never had a conversation with my father. Never said he loved me or anything like that. So when I come and I get saved, I can understand Jesus, understand the Holy Spirit, but I actually didn't know that God had or that the Father had anything to do with anything. He was silent in the Trinity. I never knew that there was any involvement there. It wasn't like, oh, I long to hear this, what it is that you do. I just thought he was just not part of anything. Yeah, like my father. So, time goes on, and people would say things like, "Oh, Abba, Daddy, and don't you just want to get in the lap of Daddy?" and things like that. And I just could not identify at all. It's like, oh, it's weird. It's not perverted or anything. It's just like I can't identify. And so, I've past few years, there have been some real trial, and like Bob was talking about, you grow up and you are taking care of yourself. It wasn't that I ever thought I'm just going to take care of myself because no one else is. It just happened that way. It was just life. I didn't know that it was any different. I just thought that's what you did. You just took care of yourself. And so when I'm coming to the Father, I don't realize I'm being self-reliant. I didn't realize that at all. I mean, I said all the right words. I knew all the things. If somebody came to me to tell them this is how you do this and that and whatever. But as far as me entering into that real personal relationship with the Father, that never occurred to me that it even could happen. And I've been longing for a while for a depth of relationship, and I didn't really know what was missing, And the other night, Bob had the word that he felt like there was somebody who wanted to go deeper, and I can't remember exactly how he put it, but I just knew that at the moment I was thinking this, and I realized, and I said to him, "That's me." And so he started saying, praying, and then asking me questions. And then at one point, I told him, it came to me very, I really experienced it. And I started crying, and I said, I feel like I am I feel like I've got some. I feel I feel like I'll take a fresh one then. I feel like I am underwater, and I'm struggling to get to the surface all the time, trying to get so I can breathe. And so then Bob, again, we prayed about it more, and he asked what the Lord was saying about it. And I began to realize in the course of praying that I was just sinking down, but my arms were just out, and I was just sinking down. And but I was sinking into the arms of the Father. And I was so at rest and peace. And it was quiet, and there was nothing that I had to do. And there's nothing I wanted to do. I wasn't thinking about what do I do now. Except I was thinking, see, my thought was, okay, now Jesus And the Father, they're going to get me up to the surface so I can breathe, because I can't do it. So he's going to do it for me, right? And I began to realize I'm not going up. And I wasn't panicking about it, but I thought, what? And then I realized, you know what? I'm breathing where I am. And then I began to realize I didn't need to go where I thought I had to go. That was solving my problem. I'm getting breath. I'm going up to the surface, and that's going to solve my problem. But I realized that God solved the problem. He was allowing me to breathe in the rest and the peace and the comfort. And he was taking me down where it was quiet and not up at the surface where the waves were crashing, the storms were happening. He's bringing me deep so that I could be in a place of peace. And so...
Wow, that is so beautiful.